All right, guys, we're back. So I taught you guys how to wash them, harvest them, split them, and now I'm going to show you guys what I do to store my tubers. Super simple. I don't do anything really special. I don't have the best setup. That's something that I do lack and wish that I had a little bit more control over and a little bit more of something better set up for my Dahlia tubers, but I usually don't have a lot die or rot on me. I have a good success rate, which is awesome considering how I store them and the temperature. Usually when you're storing your dahlias, you want to store them between 4 to 10 degrees Celsius. I usually store mine, most times it's only around 10 to 15 degrees. So it's usually not the coldest, and I just put them on my basement floor there. I have my temperature gauge on the floor where I store my Dahlia tubers. Another thing you want to try and avoid is to put them on concrete or somewhere where it gets moist. If your basement floods, that is another thing you want to avoid and look out for just in case. I store my Dahlia tubers in crates, like in the tuber crates or bulb crates that you guys would find in the flower world. I noticed some people will put them in like Tupperware containers and other plastic organizational like bins there, which is totally cool, whatever works for you. And then other people saran wrap their Dahlia tubers as well. That is something that I've never tried. I don't know why I haven't tried. Maybe I will this year just to see. I'll do one tuber. Let's see how it goes since I haven't tried it yet. But yeah, so I'm going to show you guys what I do. I just use those crates, like I was saying, the black crates, which are God's gift. And then I line them with just a garbage bag, a black one. Last year I used clear, but I think it might be a little bit better to have it more dark, right? Because you don't want that light to start waking up your tubers. Yeah, you don't want the darkness waking up your tubers there. The light. You don't want the light waking up your tubers. Holy, like, let's get it together, folks. So let me try that again. So you do not want your dahlias in the light for obvious reasons. You don't want to wake them up. So yeah, this is what I store my dahlias in. Black crate, line it with the black bag there. I don't tape the bag up or anything, and I just lay it in the bottom of the crate. And it's pretty much just so the vermiculite doesn't spill all out of the crate when you move it around or anything like that. And you don't want to have them like completely covered by a garbage bag because that's just obviously going to lead to mold and rot. And we don't need that. And fungus and mildew, whatever. You don't need that. So yeah, and you want it to breathe a little bit more. But yeah, I'll show you how I do it anyway. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I got the bag in the bottom. I got my vermiculite here. Turn the camera here for you guys. So this year I bought in bulk, which was super convenient. I'm going to move this camera back here just a little bit more. There we go. So usually I used to go to like a garden center. So here around where I go, it's like the most popular garden center. But I was buying, I was actually reusing the vermiculite. I'm not going to lie, for a few years. I don't recommend you guys do that. I recommend you guys get new vermiculite every single year. But I was just cheap. I ran out of time, and then I ended up having the garden center close, and I was just lazy, didn't want to go out of town to get any. So this year I was like, I'm going to buy bulk because it's, number one, obviously cheaper, especially when you grow the amount that I do. I definitely recommend to buy this big bulk bag of the 4 cubic feet or cubic square feet, I guess it would be. Way cheaper than buying 10 liters at a time at like 20-25 bucks. Save you a lot of money there. So yeah, one of the things that I recommend doing, buying in bulk, I got this from a hydroponic store. So that's something that I definitely recommend for you guys to do and check out instead of the garden center in those smaller quantities. I mean, if you only have like a handful of dahlias, for sure go to the garden center and grab that bag. It's going to be better for you. I think with this big bag, I paid, I think it was like 70 bucks plus tax. So give or take, obviously for my needs, I needed the bigger bag. I've never used this stuff before, so I know it comes in like the fine grain, the medium, and like the larger medium, whatever it is. I got medium there today. Although I do like the thinner stuff, I'm not gonna lie. I like the finer stuff for when you do like your seedlings and your transplants and stuff. Way easier, especially when you're growing snapdragons, Soloti and things like that. When you're starting from seed, much easier to work with than these bigger chunks, and it also prevents seed from coming up through the soil there, I find, on some of those thinner and smaller seeds, especially like Lysianthus too. So you wouldn't want to use usually like a medium type of vermiculite. Okay, so another thing I forgot to mention about the vermiculite, when you do open the bag, I do recommend that you wear like a face mask like you wore during COVID, or you put your shirt up over your nose as best as you can. You don't want to breathe this stuff in, guys. You may think it's harmless and that, but honestly, you do not want it in your lungs. It's not good for you at all. That's one of the biggest things when I've been working in agriculture was the dirt, the dust and stuff. It's just terrible for your lungs, terrible for everything in your system there. So yeah, wear a mask if you can when you're working with this vermiculite. It is super dusty, especially the fine particle stuff. So when I open up this bag and start transferring it over, I don't have a mask here today. I might somewhere. I just don't want to go looking for it right now, but I'm just gonna throw my thing up there. Sorry to make a big, huge noise on the mic there. But yeah, so let's get to it. We're going to take our crate, throw the bag in the bottom like I told you, and I'm going to open this bag since I haven't yet. And I'm not going to put a huge hole in the bag because I can see where that's going to go. Knowing my luck, I have the worst luck with stuff like that. I just want it big enough where it pours out nicely, where I can control it. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I mean by it's dusty. Like, I don't know if you can see that on my finger. Okay, folks, so like that's what you'd be breathing in and what would be sticking inside your lungs. And you don't want that cancer causing and other respiratory issue problems. Okay, so we're going to put a thin layer of the vermiculite in the crate. I usually do about 1 inch, and then I'm going to take some of my dahlia tubers and I'm going to lay them in flat. And then I'm going to put another layer of vermiculite and then put another layer of dahlias. You can have dahlias touching. I've read that you can't have dahlias touching in storage. That's completely false. You just need to keep an eye on them. Make sure that you have the right temperature and humidity and that they're stored properly with the right substrate. Okay. When I used to work on the dahlia farm there, they were in huge apple crates, like thousands upon thousands of dahlias, and they sat in those crates for months on end, touching each other and they weren't washed. I'll put it that way. So it's a mess. And yeah, they can touch during storage. Just be careful. If you're new to it and you don't know what to look for with rotten stuff, educate yourself, teach yourself what it looks like. And then it's a lot easier on your end instead of, you're going to learn anyways through trial and error. Trust me, I've lost a lot of stuff. All of us growers have. It happens. And everyone's conditions are different too. So just the way one grower stores these guys doesn't mean that's going to work for you necessarily. Especially the way I store them, it's not always beneficial. And I'm just showing you guys what I do. I'm not saying it's the best way by no means, because it is definitely not by any means. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what I do, because I do get a lot of questions kind of what to do and kind of the basics of storing these guys. All right, let's get pouring. It's heavy too. This bag was like, I don't even remember how much it weighed. All right. And the best part was I got it local from the hydroponics store. So super cool to support local and somebody in my community, which I love doing. Awesome possum. And yeah, always nice to meet people in your community, right? And so I'll be buying my soil in the springtime from him. He was super nice, actually. Ooh. All right. I need to cover my nose here. So here we go. Can't really show you guys, but I'm just going to pour it and then show you guys what it looks like, okay? Just to make it a lot easier. So here we go. Do a little more. All right. Making a mess, as usual. I feel like that's going to fall down on me. Such a big awkward bag. So I'm going to sit down because I'm old and I can't be sitting up like that anymore in my life. Okay. So yeah, it doesn't need to be a thick layer at the bottom. Like I said, just like an inch or so. Wow, I haven't had nice looking vermiculite in like years. This is beautiful looking. Okay, I'm going to clip this onto me. Sorry if it's loud, folks. I apologize in advance. All right. Figure that out. Hopefully that's not too annoying for you guys. And then this is what it is going to look like for you guys. Okay, I'm just going to flip the camera around because it's much easier to show you guys than trying to work with it that way. So this is what it's going to look like with the vermiculite all on the bottom. Not super thick. You guys can see that my tubers will be able to breathe, except for over there it looks a little much. Yeah, as long as you can see the holes, it will breathe fine. I've done this enough times, I'll be good and golden. So yeah, I'm going to put a nice little layer of my dahlias there, and then I'll show you how that looks, and then I'll cover them back up more with some more vermiculite there. So give me one sec.